spring fragrances for men. So spring fragrances usually are relatively fresh, they have some of those natural notes in them, that sort of thing. So I've compiled a small list of fragrances that do just that, and as always, all the fragrances that I mentioned will be available in the Amazon associate links down in the description below. I'm going to start with one that is very, very much reminiscent of springtime, at least I think so. This is a unisex option, Jo Malone, English Pear, and Freesia. So this, even though Pear and Freesia, they're usually more feminine notes, I still think this is a pretty good unisex option, mainly because it also has amber and patchouli to kind of give it a little bit more of a unisex smell to it. And also more longevity, because those are a bit heavier notes, so they'll add some more longevity here. This is very, very pleasant smelling. Super, kind of breezy, clean, green, natural smelling. You can't really get more natural smelling than this, because that's kind of what the aim is to get that kind of garden, fruit tree, floral smell to it. So this is very nice. Longevity is kind of moderate, mainly because this is a pretty light fragrance. It's about 6-ish hours of longevity, so it's pretty moderate, but very high quality fragrance. Again, it's one of those options if you're looking for something a little bit more subtle, yet very natural, and that sort of thing. It's just a very friendly type of smell, more outgoing, very agreeable. Pretty much everyone really enjoys smelling this. I haven't come across anyone who dislikes the smell of this, mainly because, again, it just kind of smells like you're walking through a garden or like through a field. So unless you really hate those natural smells for some reason, you will like this, and most people will like this. It's just one of those fragrances that are designed to be well liked. Now, maybe you want something a little bit with more force than this, maybe more masculine. Then I would say something probably along the lines of Creed, specifically Creed Aventus. This is your high class option. If you want something for special occasions, something nice and fresh, but still masculine, Aventus will do the trick for sure. It's kind of one of those citrusy, fresh, kind of woodsy types of fragrances. It's super popular among, you know, definitely popular among men who have a lot of special occasions, like nice dinners, events to go to, or if you just have the money to spend, this is a good option as well. Again, Creed makes extremely expensive but also extremely well-made fragrances, and Aventus is no different. Like, Aventus is one of their best-selling men's fragrances that they have, so definitely a good option. It has that freshness that's nice for the spring, and in general, the longevity is better than you would expect, mainly because this is a generally light fragrance, but it actually has pretty good longevity, about 7-ish hours, so it will last quite a while. And there are other versions of it as well, like the Absolute, for, you know, even kind of a slightly different smell and also more longevity. So Aventus is a good option here. Then, one that I personally really like is Dior Homme. Now, Dior Homme, there's many versions. This is the original, which I like the best. I think the original is perhaps the perfect springtime fragrance for men. Mainly because it just has that clean smell, that freshness. It has a little touch of sweetness from the iris note. It's just very reminiscent of spring. Like, when I smell this, I think of springtime. And at the same time, again, it's clean, it's masculine, and it's surprisingly long-lasting. It will last almost all day, at least 7 hours. It's pretty good. Now, the main problem here is that it's hard to find the Dior Homme original. There are other versions that you could try that are pretty similar. You just kind of have to look around for them. But yeah, Dior Homme original. This is a really good option. A good alternative is the Eau de Toilette or the Eau for Men. But yeah, really good option for springtime. Now, maybe you want something extra fresh. Then I say Gentle Fluidity Silver is a nice option. This is mainly juniper berries. You got some wood notes, you got some greenery sort of thing. It's meant to be very natural, very crisp and very fresh. You're primarily gonna get, now there is some woodsiness and some amber that comes in. The amber note is pretty faint. You're really gonna get some of those fresher notes, mainly the juniper berries. But this is nice if you want to smell extremely clean and very crisp, and on the cold side. This is definitely a cold type of fragrance. So maybe not great for early spring when it's still cold, but once it starts getting a little bit warmer, then this is a good option. Because once it does get warmer, this kind of cuts through the heat and keeps everything nice and cool and fresh. So the main qualm here is that it doesn't have great longevity because it's such a light, type of fragrance. So longevity, pretty moderate, maybe 5 to 6 hours. But besides that, very nice. You could always reapply it if it fades away too quickly. But yeah, Gentle Fluidity Silver specifically, very nice option here for spring, and it does have a certain aura about it, You could tell that it's one of those really well-made fragrances. Now, another one, which I quite like, is Amouage Reflection Man. This is kind of a slightly spicy, slightly woodsy, and slightly floral type of fragrance. This along with Dior Homme really reminds me of spring. The opening is pink pepper with some rosemary, and the middle notes are a few florals like Lang Lang and neroli and jasmine. And then the base notes are like sandalwood and cedar. So you're really getting something smooth and fresh and breezy, slightly sweet, but the sweetness is more in the background. And then you get those really nice wood notes to ground the whole fragrance. And there is also just a touch of powderiness, which I think is really nice and clean smelling. In general, this is a very attractive scent. And it lasts a surprisingly long time for this being so light. 7-ish hours, maybe even up to 8 in certain cases. But Reflection Man is really it's fun to wear, it's attractive, it lasts quite a while, and it's just refreshing. It's very different from some mainstream fragrances. You get something very different when you wear this. In general, very good choice. But that is pretty much my list here of springtime fragrances for men, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, of course, you could leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.